Hello, SquirrelTribe. Listen, y'all know I don't really watch TikTok like that, I guess is the phrase to use here. I don't really watch TikTok, right? I watch every once in a while, I'll see a Facebook reel and I'll pay attention to those. I see YouTube shorts, I see Instagram stories and reels, I think they're called. But there's this person that has been kind of all over other content creators' accounts on TikTok. And so my husband and I were talking about it. It's this guy named Hub's Life, and he's on Instagram also. So I'm looking at these videos on TikTok of Hub's Life, and what it turns out, this is what happened. This man made a massive TikTok following, or gained a massive TikTok following, like over 1 million TikTok followers. And I think he's got like 1.4 million followers over on Instagram. And he became TikTok, Instagram famous for basically like documenting his 9-to-5 life, like his going to work, his at work, and then leaving work life, his normal, mundane, everyday life. And his whole brand was about, and I say brand, his whole brand was about normalizing a 9-to-5 and not being an entrepreneur, not being a small business owner, not being a influencer, not being a content creator, which is kind of ironic because he's creating content as he's doing this 9-to-5, right? So he's doing this whole 9-to-5 thing, and then he quits his job and starts just kind of documenting his life. Now, here's the problem for a lot of people. Number one, there's a couple problems here. Let me just explain them to you. So number one, he's doing this 9-to-5 thing. And so a lot of people who are also working 9-to-5s or who live that same type of life are really attracted to what he's doing because it's familiar to them, right? So they follow him, they engage with him, whatever else. And he never talks in his videos, which is, I can't even imagine not running my mouth in every single thing I do. But he doesn't talk in any of his videos. They're just like compilations of his day. And there's a little ASMR, like I said, like the noises of him doing things. But the problems that people had were two of them, really. Number one, he quit, but then rented a space to look like he was still going to work to do a 9-to-5.
So the other issue is that when Hub's Life quit his job to do full-time influencing, he actually rented a fake office and continued making content there. People found out about it and they're like, why would you lie about doing a 9-to-5 job?
Like he had like the keyboard, he would take his backpack, he would sit at a desk, he would do all these things. And it turns out it wasn't real. So then of course you're questioning, was any of it real? Was it always just a rented space and you were pretending to go to a 9-to-5? So that right there is very off-putting for a lot of people. If they think they've been duped the whole time, here they are thinking that they're in the same boat with this person. And maybe, it's all been a lie, like fabricated, whatever. So that's one issue that a lot of people have with this Hub's Life dude. The other issue is that he left the 9-to-5 to be a content creator, to be an influencer, and basically live his best life. Like that's the whole thing. He's posting up now how he's going to Spain, he's going to this place, he's going to that. And a lot of people are in the comment section like, WTF, dude, like this isn't what I signed up for. I don't like this. I'm unhappy about this, whatever else. And let me give this to you from a personal standpoint or a personal way I look at it. It's not my life over there, right? That's Hub's life, but I can understand what he's doing. So when he was doing his 9-to-5, he was getting less and less and less and less views, and he was not getting pushed by the TikTok algorithm anymore. Or maybe I don't think he's on YouTube. I actually did not check to see if he's on YouTube. But he wasn't getting the algorithm push. He wasn't really bringing in new people. He wasn't really connecting like he had been on the growth train of building his brand, right? And then he gets to a point where he has worked hard enough that he is now able to focus on something else and do what he wants to do. And here's where I have a problem personally, is that people are in his comments on TikTok and on Instagram basically shitting on this man because he worked hard enough doing that 9-to-5, in theory, to be able to stop doing that 9-to-5. And now he's at home with his kid more. He's with his wife more. They're traveling more. They're having fun and living life because of what he's doing now versus what he was doing before. And isn't that supposed to be kind of like the goal in life, is to not have to work for the man for your entire life, to be able to either work hard enough or save enough or invest enough and be able to get a return on your investment so that at some point in your life, before you're knocking on death's door, you're able to stop what you're doing and do what you want to do, right? So that's my thought on that. And a lot of people aren't taking into consideration this man that was working 9-to-5. Yes, he was relatable at the time, but Everybody changes. Everything changes. The algorithm changes. And when this man is doing this thing day after day after day, and it's no longer doing for him and his family what it was doing before, he has to make changes for himself and his family. Another personal note, here on SquirrelTribe, I used to get a lot of views talking about politics. Before that, it was, other things that we would talk about. Now, no matter what I talk about, YouTube does not like me anymore. And that's fine. It is what it is. But it has also shown me that I want to focus on things that make me happier. Not that this channel does not make me happy. Please don't get that twisted. Don't get it wrong. I love y'all immensely. But I have been spending more time on my other, more personal channel, more vlog style channel, because it brings me a different kind of happiness. Like, I have a different connection with that audience. I have a more, not that this one isn't personal. Again, I don't really know how to phrase things sometimes, but you guys know what I mean. I have a much more personal life connection over there. Here, it's still a personal connection, you and I, but over on my other channel, it's my family and everything else and more personal information that is shared. So it's a different kind of connection, right? And over there, it's fun. Like, it's always fun because it's not news-based. It has nothing to do with anything negative. It has nothing to do with what headline just popped up or what explosion just happened or what food got recalled or what political person is going through the ringer right now. Like, it's none of that. And the algorithm, YouTube algorithm, seems to be favoring that also. So for me personally and my family, I am focusing more on, 1, what makes me happy, 2, what I can incorporate my whole family in, and 3, what YouTube is clearly telling me it wants from me as a content creator. And y'all know I freaking hate that phrase because I don't think I create anything. I just run my mouth. It's the same thing on my other channel. I just run my mouth. It's just a personal mouth running versus a here's what happened, let's talk about it kind of mouth running like we do over here. Now, this Hubs Life guy, I am 50-50 with him. Like, my husband, he's looking at it, at this Hubs Life guy. He's like, I see no problem with what this man has done because he did what he needed to do for himself because the algorithm let him know that whatever was working is no longer working. So he has to make those changes. And I'm like, I get it. I understand. But y'all know me. I look at everything from the other side also. So I'm looking at it from his audience's perspective. And I completely understand because I get comments here on this channel from y'all or the y'alls that have been blocked or the y'alls that have left at this point that are, oh, this isn't what I signed up for. I didn't subscribe for this. Okay, I fully understand. I have changed over the years with what we talk about, how I talk. My personality has, I would say, grown and developed. Other people would say, has degenerated. It kind of just depends on how you feel about me and how you feel about the topic. But with the Hubs Life guy, he thought that the people would stick around because of him. When in actuality, it seems like most people didn't give a shit about him because he wasn't really putting his personality into what he was doing. It was all that, clips of this smushed together ASMR style with no words. Here, when people make comments, I do take it personally because I put a lot of myself into everything here, right? There's no scripts. There's nobody doing anything for me. I do everything. My husband does help every once in a while. If I need to edit or something, I'll give him a video and be like, edit this. But generally speaking, that's not how I roll. So when the comments come in that are, oh, well, I'm unsubscribing because you shopped at Target. Fuck, dude. Like, what do you want me to do? I need Band-Aids. What do you want me to do? Go spend twice as much at Walgreens or CVS just because you don't like Target? I gotta do what's best for me and my pocketbook, me and my family, my drive home, whatever I happen to pass. You know what I mean? The problem for a lot of people in general is when you put yourself out there, obviously you are asking for people to shit on you, but you're also asking for people to give you love, and you get a little bit of both. Now, the crapping on you is a much, much smaller percentage than the ones who love on you, right? But that crapping on you percentage, it really does stick with you in a negative way. And then it makes you as a person sometimes change, sometimes act differently. Think about it. If you happen to have people that you know, and let's say you got 10 friends, okay? And one of those 10 friends is always just so effing negative. how often do you want to hang out with that friend? How often do you give that friend a lot of information because you know that they're going to have something negative to say? So you don't say as much to that friend because you're like, listen, I don't want your negative feedback on this. I just want to be happy and live my life, whatever else. The same thing happens with content creators. We put ourselves out there. Again, I freaking hate the word content creator, but whatever. We put ourselves out there and we get a lot of feedback. For this Hubs Life dude, he's getting a 50-50 mix, it seems. But social media right now, especially on TikTok, is dragging this dude, like looking at it as such a negative thing. But they're also getting a lot of views for it. So I'm like, do they really believe what they're saying? Or are they only doing this to get the views off of dragging this man?
Hold up. The entire internet is pissed at this guy for quitting his 9-to-5 job.
Breaking down what the fuck is going on TikTok today. Hubs Life begging for Galaxy's drama explained.
But you're all missing the real problem. You got people in his comments calling him a hypocrite, a sellout, a rug pull, and honestly, I get it. But being mad at him for wanting to quit his job is absolutely pointless. The problem here isn't that he quit his job, it's how he quit his job. His entire platform was built on normalizing the 9-to-5 and being okay with being at a 9-to-5 job. And obviously, that got him over 1 million followers. But the issue here is that he never prepared his audience for evolution. Just imagine if he spent the last 3 to 6 months building a business on the side and showing people how he's going to get out of the 9-to-5. He could have easily transitioned his brand from being the 9-to-5 guy to the guy who helps you escape the 9-to-5. Because let's be honest here, his whole brand was just coping with being at a 9-to-5. Nobody wants that. I'm sorry. Instead, the guy just jumped ship and has no life raft for the rest of his 1 million followers. And he's completely confused the creator fund and brand deals for a real business model. And now the guy has 1 million followers with no product, no service, and no other way to monetize other than begging for galaxies on TikTok Live. So the real problem here is not that he quit his job. Everybody should be striving to quit their 9-to-5. The real problem is he failed to see his audience as people he could actually help and serve. Instead, he just saw them as people who mirrored his struggle. And really, I wish nothing but success for this guy, but this is a huge mistake.
It's crazy how social media works. If you are just always positive and happy and living your best life, sometimes it wins. And sometimes the algorithm of whatever site you happen to be on, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever else there is out there. I know there's more I can't think of. Sometimes the algorithm loves it and they shove it down your throat. They're like, take it. We want everybody to have a little bit of this. And then other times you're like, no, we don't like you happy. We need you to just, crap on everything and be unhappy all the time. And that's what we're going to push. We need you to only do bad news. And that seems to be, unfortunately, what happens with me here on SquirrelTribe. When it's something negative, if I title it negative, if I have a, oh, no face, whatever, the algorithm is like, ooh, send this to people. Let's make people, whatever. But when I'm like, hey guys, great day, effing crickets. The algorithm does absolutely nothing on this channel. My other channel though, I would say no wrong. That's not true. I can get very low views over there because I have a microscopic amount of subs over there compared to over here, which I'm perfectly okay with because it's the right subs. Here, I love y'all immensely, but some of the subs here are here from 3 years ago and haven't left. Some of the ones that are here just to shit on me in the comments so they can get into the live chats. Some are only subscribed so they can, keep an eye on me, whatever. It's not the same as it is over there. And the whole point behind all of this is, I told you guys before, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to hiccup. I did a whole they may cancel me for this thing a while ago, like a month ago. We had this conversation because I was just so just ticked off with everything and in my head and whatever else, and needed to just kind of vomit all of it out. And I'm in that space again. Not because I want to be, but because the way YouTube mind fucks you puts me there sometimes. And especially this channel. I want to change the name of this channel. I don't want it to be SquirrelTribe anymore. I want it to be ST Talks. That's what I want to do. I want it to be ST Talks. But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, if I do that, I'm going to piss off people and they're going to leave because they only like me as Squirrel. So they're going to leave. Even though before I was Squirrel, it's a completely different channel name and people still stayed. Some left, but people still stayed. And I realize I base a lot of what I do off of y'all and how it's going to affect you. Like there's some seriously negative stories out there that we could talk about, but I'm like, I don't want to put that in your brain. You're going to get that from somewhere else. I would much rather bring you random stuff like the Target delivery app thingy that I had no idea how it worked. And then it turns out that once it's all said and done, if you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. Once it's all said and done, If you go back into your Target app, then there's a way to tip the delivery driver. Then there's a way to rate the delivery driver and to set the delivery driver as a favorite. I had no idea because it doesn't tell you. So if I had never opened my app again, or I'd waited too long, would the dude have even gotten a tip? Which I did tip him 25% because he had to drive a significant amount of distance between where I am and where he went. But anyway, I've lost track of where I was going with that because, squirrel, that makes perfect sense. I love y'all. That does not change. Nothing changes that. I love y'all. And the ones of you I don't love, because I've talked to you numerous times about how I don't love you. But the majority of you, I love immensely. I have to do what I have to do for me on this channel, whatever that may be. I don't even know what it is right now. I am trying a bunch of different things to see what the algorithm is going to do, because wherever the algorithm wants me, sometimes is where I need to focus. If it turns out the algorithm wants me away from politics, then I might need to turn away from politics and talk about something else for us to still have conversations. Now I can slide a little political stuff in the middle there without the algorithm noticing, maybe, possibly. Or if they want me talking about politics, then, I can slide a little bit of other information in the middle. I have to figure out exactly where I'm supposed to be over here. And it's daunting sometimes. And it's, a mind game that can have a negative effect on me, which then comes across in the way I talk to y'all. And it's not fair to you when I'm in a pissy mood because of what YouTube is doing. So for me, I am focusing a lot more, like I said, on my other channel because it is the fun, it is the positive, it is the whatever. And the downside here is, and I feel like a friggin' ass when I say it, I don't want to really tell y'all what it is. A lot of you already know what it is. It's not that hard to figure out. But a lot of people that end up over there bring the negativity with them of political stuff or whatever stuff. And I don't want that there. That's not what it's designed for. And that's another thing that makes things difficult for me, which is also why I want a separation from the name SquirrelTribe, because I want it to be a completely separate space between my personal and the other stuff we talk about over here, which still you guys get a lot of my personal, just not in the same sense as the other channel. And it's a very hard place to be because a lot of people who have never been right here don't understand it and look at me some type of way, like I'm doing something wrong, or I don't really know what other words to use there. And it's not the case. It's that I have to do what I have to do for me, for things to work so that we can still talk to each other. You know what I mean? So that's where we are. The Hub's life, dude, I'm still 50-50 on, because I'm vocal with y'all on what is going on and what I'm changing and whatnot, right? And he just ripped off a Band-Aid without even telling anybody a Band-Aid was there to begin with. So I can understand the frustration of his audience, but I also think it's kind of shitty to crap on somebody because they were able to elevate themselves and get out of where they did not want to be in order to do more of what they want to do. I will never crap on somebody who is able to spend more time with their kids and their spouse. That is the goal for everybody. And if it's not, maybe you need a new spouse, or maybe you don't like your kids. I don't know. But that should always be the goal, is to spend more time with the people that you love and less time working for something or someone that does not bring you any kind of joy, right? So, SquirrelTribe. ST Talks. I don't know what to say now because I still want to change it to that. I'd like your thoughts on that, because ST Talks is still SquirrelTribe Talks, right? It still counts. It's just shortened. And I feel like maybe changing the name would also help the algorithm, would help YouTube maybe distinguish me. No. Differentiate between my two channels maybe, or put me into a category more of where I think I should be or want to be. Now, I don't talk like Trish Regan. I don't talk like Benny Johnson. I'm not like Barry Cunningham, Charlie Kirk, all these other channels that are out there doing the same-ish things that I do. So I don't even know if I belong in that bucket of people. That's where I want to be, obviously. I like having those conversations, but it feels like YouTube is telling me that is no longer where I belong. And it's kind of a little heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like being told that you're not good enough, right? When YouTube basically craps on you and goes, we're not gonna show this to anybody at all. It feels like you're being punished for being yourself and doing things your way and not conforming to how everybody else is doing everything. Not that there's anything wrong. Please don't get that twisted either with the way these other channels are doing things. It's just that I don't do the things the way they do. I don't have a set studio. I don't have scripts. I don't have the big flashy edits. I don't have the hair and the makeup and the cute clothes. I don't do any of that. And therefore I feel like they've like pushed me out of the bucket. I'm like on the outskirts, and it's either do all that to get back in the bucket or F it and go find a new bucket. So that's what I've got. Didn't help anything, doesn't clear anything up, but that's the conversation. So, Squirrel Tribe, ST Talks. I love y'all immensely. And as always, thank you for letting me have the conversations that I need to have and that hopefully help you guys understand a little bit more about what's going on, and not just my realm of YouTube, but in general for content creators. That's all I got. I love y'all immensely, and I'll see you later. Bye.